I'll just start the presentation, and it means I need to make it full screen, and then I need to restart it like can you see the presentation full screen?
Yes, Dr. Full screen.
Okay.
Yes.
You can see that we are starting the new unit, Unit 2, which deals with working in general practice. And so first, let us speak about the home assignment and focus on some problems that we had with the use of correct tenses. You remember that in the first exercise, the task was to use the present simple or present continuous forms of the verbs. And as for the first sentence, the screenshot is, you can see the screenshot on this file. The student writes, these days most children are having too many fizzy drinks. And the student uses the present continuous tense. When we were revising the use of tenses, present tenses, last class, we just mentioned that there are some verbs, non-action verbs, which are not used in continuous form, and the use of the verb have is restricted to the meanings have something to eat. So have a shower, for example, yes. And so in this meaning, the verb to have can be used in the continuous form. In the other meanings, it should be used in only present forms. That is why I consider it's wrong to use having. And the meaning of the sentence is like, these days, regularly, every day, children have fizzy drinks. So it's better to use the verb in the present simple, like these days most children have too many fizzy drinks. As for number 5, the student just used the past simple tense, but that was not, you didn't follow the instructions to this exercise. So there is nothing, it just shows us that it should be past simple. It says during the week. If it were during the last week or during the week last year, we would we could use the past simple tense. But here it's better to use the present simple. So it means we don't get takeaway pizzas during the week. It means, but at the weekend, so we sometimes get it. Well, and as for sentence 6, the same, just mistake, the use of the past simple tense. And so the phrase, it smells great, shows us that something is still happening now. That is why we need to use the continuous form, which should be, what is your mother making? Smells great. And yes, one more sentence from this exercise, number 8. The student also used the past simple tense. The diet in my country got worse. So when did it get worse? So there is no time given. So that is why it can be described with the help of the present continuous. It means that the diet in my country is getting worse currently. It's just in the process of this. And the diet in my country gets worse regularly from year to year. It's also possible. Well, both present simple and present continuous. And as for the next exercise, the second exercise, there were also some problems with the use of the so-called non-action verbs. Like in the first screen, you can see we have been knowing each other since we were children. There were no issues with the use of since or for, you know it rather well. But we were speaking that, you know, there are some action verbs like make, play, go, and non-action or state verbs. The non-action verbs shouldn't be used in the continuous form. That is why it's better to use we have known each other since we were children. As for sentence number 3, does your sister have had that hairstyle for a long time? So the student just means to use the present perfect tense. It's all right, but the student doesn't remember which auxiliary to use in the question. So does is used with the present simple. And if we make up a question where the verb is used in the present perfect, it should be have or has, should be used at the beginning of the question. So here, as far as we are speaking about sister, this is she. So that is why we use has instead of have. And we just put it at the beginning of the question. Has your sister had that hairstyle for a long time? And so as for exercise 4, the same situation is as with the verb know. The verb love is non-action verb. That is why we should use it in the present perfect simple. I have loved her since the first day we met. And one more sentence, number 5. So like one of the writes, my internet connection have not worked since yesterday. This is the internet connection this is the third person singular. It can be replaced with preposition it. So we need has, not have. Like, for example, in the following screenshot, it says my internet connection has not worked since yesterday. Well, I didn't consider it to be a mistake, but it's better to use the continuous form. My internet connection hasn't been working because the emphasis on the result, it doesn't work now, and on the process, it will just for a long time since yesterday. Well, do you have any questions about the home assignment?
No,
Everything. I see.
But doctor, I have a question.
Yes. What's your name?
Sadine, you did not call my name when you.
Will you repeat one more time, please? What is your name?
My name is Sadine. Sadine.
Just I can't. Will you say the whole name, the surname?
Sadine Mu'taz Abdul Qadir Assaf.
Sadine?
Yes.
Sadine. So welcome to our class, Sadine. Is your first name Sadine?
Yes.
Is this the first time that you join us?
Yes.
Well, okay. Can I see your face, Sadine? I see. Okay. Hello. Glad to see you, Sadine Assaf.
Thank you.
Sadine, I found your just assignments on the Moodle site. You see that you've missed the deadline. That is why you just get only half of the maximum score. Maximum score is 10, and you just get only 5 points for each of the tasks. Are you going to attend classes, Sadine?
Yes.
Okay, so good. So You should tell me that you are here. I didn't know. Okay. So let us go back to our so presentation, and here let us just yes, we'll move to the culture projects that you that was the task to find the information and to make a presentation. The first project was about the body language, and the person responsible for the culture projects was who? Zaina, right?
Yes.
Okay, Zaina. How many groups did you divide the students into?
We have 3 groups.
3 groups. I see. So the first group who dealt with the body language. Who are the students?
Khalil Mahmoud.
Just a minute. Yes, Khalil.
The student for project 1, it's Khalil Mahmoud, and me, Abdurrahman Hamid, and
Just a minute.
also Muhammad Abdurrahman Hamid. Yeah, and also Muhammad Jabar Khail and
Muhammad
Caroline.
Jabar Khail. Muhammad Aib. Yes, Muhammad Aib.
And also Caroline.
And who?
Caroline.
Me, teacher, Caroline.
Caroline, I see. Okay, so good. Now, before we'll start listening to your presentation, I would like you to focus on this slide, which gives some criteria for evaluating group presentations. And I would like you to look at these criteria and then use them in just evaluating the presentation of your group mates. While just evaluating the presentation, we should focus on the content, organization, delivery, and visuals. So if we speak about the content, we should just evaluate whether the presentation is informative and interesting. Organization, we should answer the question, is the material organized logically? In terms of delivery, are the speakers talking about the slides rather than simply reading them to the audience? And as for visuals, we should answer the question, do the visuals help illustrate the important points? Do visuals use keywords or graphs instead of sentences? So these are the main criteria that we should judge about the presentation. And after we have listened to the presentation, I will ask some students to evaluate it, okay? And I need to give you now the right to share the screen.
I will share it, Doctor.
Yes, you may start.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
On full screen, can you see it, Doctor?
Yes, it's full screen.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. In this presentation, we'll try to cover body languages and gestures in our cultures. We'll start off the importance of language in Arabic culture. While Arabic may be the official language of many Middle Eastern nations, body language is also an important means to communicate in our culture. Placing your right hand on your heart is a warm greeting that can be done by itself or after a handshake. The gesture conveys sincerity, respect, and that the person really appreciates your presence. In Arabic culture, handshakes are not only reserved for meeting or greeting someone, but they are also used when you say goodbye. If a person you are trying to greet is far away, holding an open hand at ear level is the equivalent of a hello. It can accompany the verbal greeting of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. Once you are engaged in conversation, there are several hand gestures that are helpful to know, like touching your fingertips together while holding out your hands, means wait or be patient. And if your friend or your fellow is feeling stressed about something, you can flick your hand outward away from your body to express that there are things in life that are not worth worrying about. So while you are learning Arabic words like shukran, which means thank you, and ma'as-salama means goodbye, remember there are other ways to communicate and make yourself a part of the local culture. Moving on of Afghanistan culture gestures, please, Muhammad.
Yes, thank you. About Afghanistan culture gestures that, as we know, the most common ethnic groups in Afghanistan are Pashtuns, Tajik, and Hazaras. And however, there are also significant population of Uzbek, Nuristani, Amak, Turkmen, and Balochs. As we know that Afghanistan is a place that there is a lot of ethnics and they have their special gestures. And some of the gestures that's common to all in our country, they are that people usually point towards something using their index finger, and also hooking the index finger and hand fingers together indicate an agreement with each other when two people meet, and also use the right hand to give and receive object and to shake hands when someone meets, and also thumb up means okay, cool, positive, good luck, thanks, you are cool, and agree. And thumbs down mean the opposite of thems. And also, it's polite to take your shoes off when or when you are entering somewhere like office, most place of like worship places. And the next one is that to show approval to someone, like when someone to speak with you, when you want to show your approval, you must nod your hand up and down. It means that your approval with him.
Okay,
And
thank you,
that's
Muhammad.
it. Welcome.
Moving on the culture gestures in Mongolia, please, Caroline.
Yes. So in Mongolian Sign Language, the head is one of the most important parts to show people about your feelings and express yourself. And hands are widely used too, but the movement and meaning is common to a lot of people from around the world. For example, like thumbs up and thumbs down, like pinky promises and like pointing at someone. These are all like relevant to all of the people around the world, but especially Mongolian people, they tend to move their head when they are speaking to express themselves, to show their feelings. So here I wrote some of the examples for that. First, it's the Mongolian word, qutaysq. It means to hang down the head, to express sympathy, to be sorry, or to regret something. And then we have the word and it means to pet or stroke head. The meaning of this movement is to love, to feel sorry for, or to pity. Mihi, to bow head. It means to respect someone. And majig, it means to scratch the head when someone is telling a lie or someone feels too lazy. Yes. And to siksir, سيخسرخ, to shake the head. It means to ignore or to regret something. And to unjulach, to drop the head. It means to feel discouraged or to be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Abdurrahman, please.
Okay, and now I'm talking about the other files besides the medicine where understanding nonverbal communication is important. And I'm talking about 4 files. The first one is sport. So nonverbal communication is not just commonplace in team sports. It is sometimes essential to the success or failure of a team. And we have example for the sports and the nonverbal communication, like a baseball sports is ruled by giving and sometimes stealing of signs and signals. And other teams sports have their own unspoken codes that allow teams to work together without giving away their secret to the opposition. And also we have the second files, the dance and drama is a form of a nonverbal communication that requires the same underlying faculty in the brain for conceptualization, creativity, and memory. Next.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
In the classroom also, nonverbal communication, a critical aspect of intrapersonal communication in the classroom. The most credible messages teachers generate as sources are nonverbal. Like the variety of ways in which teachers and students work, stand, or sit can all affect interpersonal perception. And we have in the last, the business place. Managers use nonverbal communication to effectively lead other employees and team members in the business. And the team members in the business use nonverbal codes to communicate information to individuals outside the business, whether they clients, competitors, or colleges in a complementary industry. And also in business place, a firm handshake may be interpreted as confidence, while other physical touch, such as a lingering touch on the shoulder, may be seen as invasive of like a personal space. And yeah, that's all. We have finished the presentation. Thank you for attention.
Thank you guys so much. So well, now it's time to share your opinion about the presentation, and maybe like using this criteria. Can you see my?
Not yet. Yes, we can see now.
Okay, so who would like to evaluate the presentation?
I can.
Your name?
Zena Al-Tamimi.
Zena, please.
Okay, so starting off with the content. So is the presentation informative and interesting? Actually, I found it very interesting because especially that they added examples and pictures, and also they added the Mongolian like sign language or the body language, which was very interesting for me. For the organization, it was actually organized and how they were going smoothly, and everyone had the chance to speak and explain, and they all participated in it, which was good. For the delivery, are the speakers talking about the slides rather than simply reading them to the audience? Now, of course, they kind of read, but they also gave examples out of what they were reading. So they emphasized what they were saying and they added examples from their own, which was also good. And for the visuals help illustrate the important points, and do visuals use keywords or graphs instead of sentences. As I mentioned before, they use pictures in order to support what they're saying, and the pictures were really nice and they were really like effective. So I liked it, and in general, it was a nice presentation. And thank you.
Okay, thank you for an expert just evaluation. Yes, great. I can agree with everything that you say. So I also like the presentation, and so it's what I like that you give the information about different cultures and you compare them. As far as you are from different countries, it's very interesting to know something just which is some realia from your own country. And so there are some relevant pictures at the beginning and at the end of the presentation, but I would recommend to use more illustrations while you were speaking about specific gestures, like in Arabic culture and in Mongolia culture. You've just described, but we should also involve our eyes. So just because this is not the radio program, this is the presentation where we listen to the speakers and we should see something. And so I agree that it's great that the speakers were not just reading from the slides, but also just gave some examples and described them, commented on the statements that were given on the slides. It means that you have, you know what you are speaking about. So, and yes, and I like it that you've divided the text on some of the slides. It was the bullet points were used. Just you've divided the text into key sentences, key phrases, and you were speaking about this, not just only reading the sentences. So I like this presentation very much, and so this is the way so for the other students to follow, because I think it's one of the best presentations. Well, mhm.
Thank you,
And,
Rish.
And well, so let us just speak about the second group. The second group that deals with the Calgary-Cambridge method, right? So, Zaina, who are the students in this group?
Yes, students, we have Ahmed Sami Krishan.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Ahmad Sami Marzouk Kreishan.
Yes. And Nabil,
Then?
Mohammed Nabil. Mohammed Nabil and Mandil Atoun.
Mohammed Nabil and who?
Mandil.
Mandil. Okay, Hussein, right?
Yes. Yes. But doctor, they want to go third. Can we go next for the patient-centered approach?
So you mean that there should be another group about the patient? So
Yes.
patient-centered
So
approach. Okay, so yes, please tell me the names of the students now.
Okay, it's me, Zana Al-Tamimi.
Okay, who else?
Muhammad Wiam. And Tala Ahmed.
Tala Ahmed.
And also Sadine. She joined our group.
Sadine,
Yes.
did she really take part in the preparation of the presentation?
Yes. Yes. She prepared with
Nice.
us.
Mhm. Okay. Mhm. So I guess it, yes, it will take more than 4 minutes, your presentation, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, and okay, so let us just. Okay, so let us now pause for a break, and then we'll start the next